spend a lot of time doing stuff wrong, right? I want to help you learn from my mistakes. Thanks for that. Learn from my mistakes. Trust me, it's way better to do things the right way. So how do you communicate with an executive? Why aren't they listening to you and picking up on your message? You understand something that clearly needs to happen at your organization, but they're not buying it. Why not? Just a disclaimer, your mileage may vary. My experience is going to be different. Experience from company to company and executive to executive. It's always going to be different. So work on, as you listen to this, look for the principles. I'll push on the principles and I'll give some specific examples of how to solve an issue, communication issue, but you're going to have to draw from the principles and reframe things for your own environment. I do have a couple of Easter eggs. You may or may not get it. So keep an eye out. All right, I'm going to start out, shout out to David Letterman, who I used to watch too much growing up as a kid. I don't have cards to throw out the little city window, but I'm going to start with the top 10. And these are, I'd say, these are touching on real things, right? So real issues that bug you and real issues that bug executives. I've shown this list to a bunch of business people, and they chuckle at some of them, and they're like, yep, that's what they always do. That's why I don't listen. So I know I'm on track. Here we go. Number 10, you only dress up when you want to spend our money. It's true. How come you always wear a t-shirt every other day except when you got something to say to an executive? Network already works. Why do I need to spend money? I think we can all identify with this one. No love for IT. If it works, what do we pay you for? Everything stopped working. Hey, what do we pay you for? Number 8, you use more than 3 colors and 6 slides in your presentation. Overload. They cannot handle that much stuff. You've got to translate the tech. You can't just throw a bunch of bar charts at them. It doesn't work that way. Keep it simple. Bring it back to business. Number 7, I'd rather spend money, business money, on something that generates income. That's a good point, and you're going to have to be able to answer that in order for them to listen to you. Number 6, your presentation was just an excuse to show off. There's a lot of truth behind this one, and it takes some introspection to really realize that it's not an opportunity to show off, and they see that, and it makes you look really immature. Number 5, as an executive, I never know what's going on with IT until there's an emergency. Are you keeping them informed? If not, why would they listen? Everything's always an emergency. The sky's falling, right? Number 4, security doesn't make us any money. Now, I've got some issues with this one, but this is a thought that they've got. When you go into a meeting, so especially to present the purchase of a new product or service, they have this thought in their heads already. So you have to be able to answer that before they ask it, or before it comes back up in their heads, because they're not going to listen. As soon as this line of thought hits their mind, they're tuning out, and you're wasting everybody's time. Number 3, you called my nephew an idiot. It's true. He sits 2 cubes over from you. Or he was a customer from yesterday that you were on a phone call with. You don't know it. You don't know how connected they are, who's connected to who. You've done something that offended them. Maybe. You keep making me change my favorite password. Can't fight that one, really. Number 1 reason executives don't listen to you in presentations. You still haven't looked at my wife's PC. You got to do favors with the executives. There's no getting around it, really. Okay, but seriously, guys. Now let's get down to the principles. What is the foundation of effective communication? And I'll give you a shortcut. It is not. It's not social engineering, right? You can social engineer on the short term, but it's all about relationship building. Even a long con social engineer involves relationship building. So why bother building a false relationship when you can just do it the right way the first time? Okay, but for real, seriously, it is all about business alignment, okay? Sometimes I get to talk with 2 hands, so forgive me here. Okay, business and IT. Business is not IT. Business has to happen, and IT needs to find a way to merge into that process. So you need to understand business to be able to bring IT to fit. If you can't do that, you're on a separate track and there's a disconnect, and that is where the communication breakdown is. Oh, sorry. To succeed, you need to proactively answer questions that they have. There are things that keep them up at night. They're not telling you about it, but they're concerned about backups, disaster recovery, those sorts of things. Some of them are thinking about this stuff, some of them are not. But there are many unspoken concerns that they have that you need to speak to in your presentation. So I'm going to go through some examples of things that they can identify with, and if you understand their thinking, you can present to answer those questions or concerns. With regard to business continuity, one thing they might say, I'm afraid we won't get all our data back in case of a catastrophic loss. They go to social gatherings with other executives, they hear other people talking about, oh, we got this new backup product, or we can get our business back up in 5 minutes after a disaster. And they're left wondering, can I? And then they go home and think about that. Answer that question for them. Make them comfortable with the answer to that question. It worries me someone could crack or guess a password and access our data. This is a very valid concern. If you've listened to any of Ryan Preston's talks, you know that spring 2018 is going to get into somebody's account by now, right? So what can you do to answer this concern? You can't just get rid of it or downplay it. It's a valid concern. How do you answer that? Two-factor authentication probably would help, right? So sometimes you got to solve a business problem. You've got your own agenda, but you need to solve business problems. And once you start getting heard in these presentations, actually helping the business, then some of the stuff that you realize that you know needs to get done, that they don't understand, you'll have a little bit more relationship built up to make a point in that direction. These are things that they think. Our IT guys are not interested in our opinions, so good ideas get ignored. I've heard so many stupid ideas from executives. But you know what? I don't turn around and roll my eyes to the person right behind me, because that comes back. They see it, they feel it, they know it. They can tell when you're not engaged. So even if it's a stupid idea, listen to it and try to understand why they're thinking. What is the business issue at hand that makes them have this retarded idea? There's probably something there that you can help solve. Talk about it. Explore their idea. Make them feel validated in their thoughts. It frustrates me that our IT guys are more interested in technology than business. This is very common. Technology is not business. Business is business. Even if you're in a technology business, technology is not business, right? Technology for technology's sake is what's in your basement or your hobby den or something like that. Technology enables business to succeed. So take an interest in the business and how to use technology to align with business purposes. Our whatever it is. Our server room is a mess. So why should we entrust yet another thing to the IT department? You need to show some good faith here. Go do some stuff, get stuff in order, or show them that it will benefit that. So just think about all these concerns that they have and try to answer those questions. Our people are doing too much manually. Surely IT automation can help. Yeah, maybe start with your own department. Show how you have benefited your own department, how the time payoff is there. There's a return on investment with employee productivity. They want these problems solved. And a lot of times it's not just some expensive software, right? It's practice and training and getting interactive with the users and showing that you can really make a change for the business. They think, people say I can save money with IT, but I have no idea where to start. So how can you show them to start saving money? I know you want to present something that's going to cost money most of the time, but you may have to start with some presentations on, hey, you know what? We can save money if we do this. I can give this up. Or we can train people to use this and consolidate 2 or 3 softwares or purposes. They're worried about software license audits. They don't know what the result's going to be. Can you comfort that concern? Some of them aren't thinking about that, but these are some of the things that they think. So can you answer that? Build their confidence in you. I don't get enough information on how well IT systems are currently running. And this goes back to the top 10 list. Everything's always an emergency. Why do I always have to spend money in an emergency? Spending goes up, but problems always feel like surprises, and I don't see why. And when I show this list to executives, they go, yeah, that. Why? Why don't I know about stuff that's coming up? You need to be able to look forward and communicate that stuff to them so that they are confident in your ability to support the business. It worries me We don't know how technology change will affect our business. Can you get in front of that learning curve and help train your executives? Keep them up to speed with what's changing in the industry? Are you doing things to stay involved and informed? I mean, you're here, so that's a good step. We lack a clear strategic objective with IT projects. They drag on forever, cost too much, and sometimes fail, or often fail. This is really common, especially in small businesses. And I know I've been there. We're overloaded. There's way too much going on. Drinking from a fire hose, or using a fire hose to put out all sorts of little fires, and projects always get put off, right? That's a concern they have. How do we answer that? You need to reframe your presentation. Again, technology's purpose is to enable business to succeed. You need to use it to solve business problems. So how do you do that? Here's a couple examples. We all understand these sorts of statements. We need more or better logging, or logging analysis, etc. Whatever the technical requirement is. We need this, so we need to buy such and such, right? Well, how do we communicate that to an executive? The pie chart at the bottom doesn't do anything if you don't understand what it means, or what a day in the life of IT department is. You can reframe that statement by saying something like this. To meet compliance requirements and to avoid fines, hey, we need this product. Is that worth looking at to you? Because the fines can cost ABC, XYZ, whatever, how much they cost. Or, for IT to focus on project execution, we need this software to automate log analysis so we can free up some time to actually focus on project delivery. Now you're talking to concerns like that, right there, that one on the right. So speak to those concerns when you reframe the technical requirements. We need a bigger battery backup so that the whatever it is, the database server in this example, doesn't experience a power cut. That makes total sense to me. Why is that so important? You can't just say that to an executive. Now, I will say, for an executive that does listen to simple statements like this, like the technical statement that we're making here, and accepts your idea and wants to run with it, they're either a stellar executive and they're tech savvy and they understand the business implications, or they're stupid and tired of dealing with you and they finally sign off on something, or you trick them into doing it. How often do we do that? We try to trick with different metrics that really don't relate. The ROI is based on stuff that we're not really doing yet, or we're never going to do, right? So the solution to this one is something like this. We're currently at risk of database corruption with potential downtime of X number of hours, 6 hours, and a loss of between 12 and 34K in transaction processing. And we're headed into electrical storm season with inadequate backup power. There's construction across the street. All sorts of things are against us right now, and we need more time on backup power in order to get stuff to successfully shut down in case of an emergency, right? We can prevent many thousands of loss with a few thousand investment. Reframe it. We need this, for example, an outrageously expensive module as a temperature monitor, so I can get notified when the AC doesn't work in the server room. Say it this way. We have $65,000 worth of temperature-sensitive, heat-generating equipment in a little closet. For about $350, we can insure that investment, right? Make it make business sense. Here's a good one. We need a pizza party once a month. How do you convince them of this?
Go to SecKC.
That's right. No, on business time. On the business time, how do we get, so 2 pizza parties. One's free, right? SecKC's underrated. The other one, how do you do this? I would like to challenge our team to grow and learn from one another. Now you can't be disingenuous here. We can build culture, share tribal knowledge, and improve customer efficiency within the department and the business. I'd like to host a monthly lunch and learn. Much nicer way to say it. Okay, so you reframe your presentation. That kind of comes as a result of reframing your thinking. Maybe I should have swapped the order of those two, sorry. IT exists in order to serve and enable others. If you didn't realize it yet, you are a servant if you're working in IT. Security, developer, I don't care what position you are, you enable other people to make money doing what they do. That was a big revelation for me. Users are your customers. If you can internalize this mindset that the users are your customers and you need to work on high customer satisfaction, that will affect your daily thinking and actions. And those changes will be noticed. You want to connect with executives, show that you care. Here's a pro tip. I burned some bridges a couple of times. They are well connected with one another. I don't know how their networks work. I'm working on getting, that's where I want to be, right? They're all buddies, they're connected in some way. So when you do something stupid and you burn a bridge, they've got this relationship that transcends you, right? It's well above and beyond whatever you can say or do. You're not going to separate these relationships. They're family ties, they're long-standing friendships and business partnerships. They've been there for each other in the past. You're not going to break into that with some presentation about, oh, they're doing this the wrong way. They're an idiot. We should get rid of them. That is not going to do anybody any good. It's going to make you look like an idiot. And they're going to be fixing things over coffee. They're going to be having coffee talking about what an idiot you are. You can't drive a wedge between some of these relationships. So friends and family are everywhere. Just a couple of weeks ago at a new job, I found that the guy with a different last name is cousins of the boss. Oh, glad I didn't say anything dumb, right? Just watch. You'll find they're all connected. Have you ever tried walking a mile in their shoes mentally? Why are they who they are, where they are, doing what they do? It could be that their passion was this, or they had a grand idea to be who they are. So if you can identify with their human side and serve whatever their purpose, passions, and dreams are, that will be where you can communicate effectively with them. So figure out who they are. Their house, a lot of times, especially in smaller businesses, their houses and cars are what's on the line to make sure you get a paycheck. Realize that. Be thankful for that and work to solve business problems. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but really your focus is on the top two tiers of Maslow's hierarchy, right? You want to enable the executives to feel self-esteem, so acknowledge their ideas and discuss, and they want self-actualization. That means they want to achieve their highest potential. Help equip them to do that. Again, they're all connected. If you can make a friendship with an executive, you are one of the people that is now inseparable. Somebody can't stand in and take over your job or cause problems between you and that person nearly as easily if you're doing favors and solving these needs, these core human needs. And my strongest recommendation is to reframe your purpose. I spent hours building a personal mission statement. I'll share a link to it at the end of the presentation, but I'm going to bring some excerpts here. What I have committed to do is to be a trusted advisor to all stakeholders. That's internal, external, executives, users, peers. Be a trusted stakeholder. That means holding certain things in confidence, not rolling your eyes when you turn around or saying certain things about other people, right? Utilize tact and discretion at all times. Speak frankly and tactfully with the best interests of who I'm serving in mind. I'm serving the business. And sometimes in a business-to-business environment, you have to play customer advocate as well. Show integrity. Always allow third parties to save face. Man, this one was tough for me because I came from working for the state of Kansas, and the intra-office group political backstabbing was outrageous. Everything was CYA, right? Everything was in written form. I'm not going to say something to somebody unless it's in an email so I can prove it. I'm going to try to elicit responses from them that prove later on that they were wrong. And every once in a while you BCC a supervisor, right? I had to get away from that mind of thinking, that mode of thinking. Allow them to save face. Don't burn those bridges that enable business to continue operating. And to that point, treat business relationships like valued friends or employees, because a lot of businesses have partnerships with other businesses because executives know each other. You don't want to get in the way of that. So treat them that way. Communicate concerns in person or over the phone. Avoid written means. This goes back to the days working at Kansas Department of Corrections. Avoid written means of communication for the expression of misinterpretable. If it can be misinterpreted, don't write it down. Do a phone call. You need to build a reputation of organizational mission and purpose. Speak positively. I know you guys find a lot of problems within your own department, within business operations. Avoid stating problems from a complaint perspective. Find a solution and present them as opportunities to excel or to fix things, not as just stuff sucks. Understand that there are 3 levels to business operations. Strategic stuff is, between 3 and 5, 10 years, however long. It's big picture stuff. Guess who lives there? The executives. They're thinking on this line. So if you're down in the operational, like my day-to-day tasks suck, and we could probably fix it by throwing a load of money at it, how much does that matter in 5 years? You need to speak to that 5, 10-year plan. Where is your thinking on a day-to-day basis? Because if you can't elevate your thinking from those task level operations, you're not going to be able to communicate effectively with the executives. To sum it up, answer the unspoken questions. Think about what concerns them. Use technology to solve business problems. Understand that IT exists to serve. Act from purpose. So build your own personal mission statement and act from that. I have mine printed and hung up on the wall right next to me. You have no idea how many emails I have not sent because I looked at that before I clicked send. And then I picked up the phone and made a phone call. And I promise it came out way better. Okay? Thanks, guys. If you would, we're trying a new rating system. No self-promotion. But if you wouldn't mind, we're going to pilot this tonight. Go rate the talk. We want to see if we can get this going on a regular basis for all the SecKC talks so we can make sure that talks are relevant to you. And a lot of times speakers would like feedback because they want to give a talk at another conference or something like that. They want to work on personal improvement. All right? Thanks, guys.